Imagine looking death in the face, not once, not twice, but 3 times, and laughing. This isn't a Hollywood script. This is the unbelievable, true story of a man who simply refused to die. A soldier who, against all odds, survived being shot, drowned, and buried alive, all in the span of a single, horrific day. His name was William Henry Harrison, though history would know him better as the Undying Man. A private in the British Army during the First World War, Harrison was just one of millions thrust into the unimaginable horrors of the Western Front. But his story would become legend, a testament to the sheer, unyielding will to survive. The year was 1915. The place, the infamous trenches of Flanders, Belgium. Life on the front line was a daily dance with death. Artillery barges, poison gas, and relentless machine gun fire were the constant companions of every soldier. On one particular day, for Private Harrison, that dance would become a macabre, almost unbelievable ballet that it was during a fierce German offensive, a relentless push to break the stalemate. Harrison's unit was holding a precarious position, dug deep into the mud and mire. Orders came down, hold the line at all costs. But the Germans were not only attacking with ferocity, they were also bombarding the British trenches with a ceaseless barrage of shells. Amidst the chaos of exploding shells and flying shrapnel, Harrison felt a searing pain. A German bullet, aimed true, had found its mark. It struck him square in the head. In the pandemonium of battle, his comrades saw him fall, lifeless, amidst the churned earth. He was presumed dead, another tragic casualty of the brutal war. The battle raged on, but as night fell, a new terror emerged, a torrential downpour. The trenches, already waterlogged, quickly became flooded. Harrison, unconscious and gravely wounded, lay in a shell crater that rapidly filled with icy, muddy water. The bullet wound should have been enough, but now he faced an even more insidious enemy. As the water rose, it engulfed his inert form. He wasn't just unconscious, he was effectively drowning. The muddy deluge filled his lungs, cutting off the last vestiges of life. For hours, he remained submerged, a forgotten casualty in a flooded battlefield. It was a watery grave for a man already presumed dead from a gunshot to the head. The next morning, the Germans, having pushed forward, began to consolidate their new positions. They found the battlefield littered with bodies, both their own and those of the fallen British soldiers. Among them, partially submerged in a water-filled crater, was Private William Henry Harrison. Following military protocol, the German soldiers began the grim task of burying the fallen. They dragged Harrison's seemingly lifeless body from the waterlogged crater and placed him with others in a makeshift mass grave. Earth was piled on top, shovelful by shovelful. For the third time, fate had dealt him a fatal blow. Shot, drowned, and now buried alive. But then, an impossibility. A faint sound, a stirring beneath the freshly turned earth. One of the German soldiers, perhaps driven by curiosity or a fleeting premonition, noticed movement. To their utter astonishment, a muddy hand burst through the soil. Private William Henry Harrison was not dead. He was alive. He coughed, sputtered, and gasped for air, spitting out mud and water. The bullet wound in his head, though severe, had not been fatal. And the drowning? His body, perhaps instinctively, had entered a state of suspended animation, preserving his life just long enough for rescue. He had quite literally cheated death, not once, but thrice. The German soldiers, utterly dumbfounded by this miraculous resurrection, quickly realized they had a living, breathing prisoner on their hands. They rushed him to a field hospital, where doctors, equally astonished, began to treat his horrific injuries. The head wound was grievous, requiring months of recovery. But Harrison, against all medical logic, was on the mend that he spent the remainder of the war in a German prisoner of war camp, a living legend among his fellow captives and even his captors. His story spread, whispered from bunker to trench, a tale of defiance in the face of absolute annihilation. When the war finally ended, Harrison returned home, a man forever changed, but undeniably alive. William Henry Harrison lived a full life after the war, a testament to his incredible resilience. He became a symbol, not just of individual survival, but of the extraordinary human spirit that can endure the most unimaginable horrors. His story, meticulously documented, stands as one of the most astonishing true accounts from the First World War. The trenches of Flanders are now peaceful, green fields. But the echoes of the past remain. And in that silence, we remember men like William Henry Harrison, the soldier who survived being shot, drowned, and buried alive. A man who stared into the abyss and somehow found his way back. His incredible journey reminds us that even in the darkest moments, the flicker of life and the will to survive can be an unquenchable flame.